Hello and welcome. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another card making tutorial. Today I'm creating with a new product called Lilypad Lake Bundle. I like the look of the silhouette crane and the greenery on a sunset background, so I'd like to share this technique with you today. I'm starting with a piece of glossy white paper and I'm adding a small amount of adhesive to the back side so that it will stay in place while I'm working with the stamp and the sponge brayer. The technique I'm sharing, I'm not sure what the name is, but maybe it's ghosting. But when you add a stamped image in Versamark clear sticky ink onto glossy white paper, allow it to dry, then once adding a color on top of it, it shows the stamped image kind of a little faded, but it's very pretty. I have my heat tool set on low to dry up this ink just a little bit to make sure there's no smudging and no smearing. Adding any kind of color to this is not going to be anything that's ordinary. It's going to give extraordinary results on the glossy white paper. And that's really fun because that allows me to plan all sorts of fun techniques. The colors I'm using today are from the new 2018 Stampin' Up! In colors, and they really do work together so well. I've started with Pineapple Punch. With my silicone craft mat, I dabbed some ink onto the craft mat and then rolling the brayer onto the craft mat, then I can transfer the ink over to the glossy white paper. Very simple and very easy for you to duplicate. And please, please show me exactly what you make. If you want to share a picture, then send me an email or let me know and I can go and have a look at it because I'd love to see what you guys can share. I'm using all of the colors except the green that are in the new in colors. I didn't feel like green really had a place on this card because I want it to be a water, like a lakeside or a shore scene. I live in New Jersey and people that visit the ocean refer to it as the shore, but I grew up around the Gulf of Mexico and we called it the beach. But being around the Gulf of Mexico means that there's lots of waterlands as well. So I got lots of lake views, and that was the inspiration for the colors on this card. As you can see, the blue added down to where the stamped lines are, it becomes very clear that there is a stamped image underneath the ink. And that's the special part of the technique that I really enjoy seeing. A sponge brayer is a wonderful way to get this look. One tip of advice about the sponge brayer is that you can take it off of the roller and go to the kitchen sink or the bathroom sink and just squeeze it under warm water and the ink will remove and come away. Although it does stain the roller a little bit, then it's not a problem. But when you know it's time to replace your brayer is if you get any little flicks of foam stuck to your paper project, then it's time to toss out that roller and put a new roller onto your handle. Stampin' Up! Sells them with 2 rollers, and it's just for this reason. The brayers work so well, but they are disposable. I'm using a generous amount of snail adhesive to the back of the paper, and I'll attach my panel to a thick Whisper White cardstock base. Here's the part that I really remember well. In the evening, there's not a lot of detail and definition to what you can see on things against a sunset. So my idea was to have black die cuts featured on this card to keep it simple and not distract away from the background that I've spent so much meticulous time to create. And it really wasn't that much time, but I really wanted the background to be the focal point of the card project. As you can see, this is really not a complicated card, and it will be easy for you to duplicate. But if you have any questions about this technique, please leave me a comment. Lilypad Lake is a new product, and it comes in a bundle with lakeside framelits and will be available to the public on June the 1st in my Stampin' Up! Store. I already have lots of ideas planned, and I encourage you to check out Lilypad Lake. It will be 10% off as a bundle. I love getting that extra 10%. We all do enjoy a discount, don't we? There's no embellishments for this card, such as thread or pearls or rhinestones. I think the background mixed with the sentiment is just enough. It's a support card, and I want that message to be conveyed in a very simple way. Thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial. All of the products that I have used are going to be available or are available now in my Stampin' Up! Store. If you haven't gotten your hands on the new in colors, you can get them today. If you have any questions how to do so, give me an email at jennystampsup@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for watching the video. Have a good day!